Hello and welcome to a new episode of a series in which we recreate the classic game of columns. First, an apology for not uploading an episode last week. I try and do so every week, however sometimes life just gets in the way. That said, let's see what we have so far. So we have a lot of tests, so let's quickly run the tests. Okay, so we have a lot of passing tests. We can also look at our game so far. So as you see, we are able to control the stack of falling gems. And let me just put this one on top of the other one. You notice you can't go through the sides, but you also can't go through other gems. So this is working. Today I want to implement the functionality where you can cycle the gems, so you can change their sequence, and that makes it easier to make matches in the game. But before we do that, I want to have a look at the previous tests that we created. Let's also show the, where is it, the minimap. There it is. We have a lot of tests that have a lot of repetitive code, and we can clean up this a bit if we create a couple of dedicated functions. So let's start there. We'll create a private function we call compare stacks, and these take one board and a stack one bottom gem, so the location where the bottom gem is for the stack we want to compare. And we have a second board with a stack 2 bottom gem that is also a factor, and this doesn't return anything. This one just checks if board 1, the stack 1 bottom gem, is equal to board 2, stack 2 bottom gem. And we repeat this one twice, but we also add the gems, the coordinates that are above the bottom of the falling stacks that we want to compare. And now we should be able to change all this code and call compare stacks. We will compare the shifted board at position 213, so that's this one, with the original board and position 313, so that's this one. So let's quickly run the test and see if these work as expected. Okay, so the test still passes, so we can get rid of these. And we can do something similar for the assert nils. So we'll create a second compare stack nil for a board and a stack bottom gem, and this one will assert that a stack bottom gem is nil. And we do this twice more, also for the one above and the one above that one. So we should be able to use this one here as well. So we'll use our shifted board and we'll check at location 313. And then we should be able to get rid of the other ones. Okay. Okay. We can do the same for the other tests as well. And let's do check another test. We check if the board stays the same. So this is a slightly different test than this one, but the effect should be the same. Okay, next test. I'm sorry if this is a bit tedious. Because we're doing more or less the same thing. Copy pasting from the first line of the assertions. We can't use this refactor here because the board still has them on the third column and this one will have them in the fifth column. So we just need to check if they stay in the fifth column. That's enough. That's enough for this. Let's start with cycling. So create a new test and the test will be called cycle and start with a board. This board will immediately call update, so we have a set of gems, and then we need to get these gems. So the first one and the second one. And the third one. Otherwise we will fail the test. Expected to find 3 gems. Return. And comma here. Okay, so we have the original gems that we can compare to. Then we say let our cycle board be our board.cycle. And that means we need to implement this function. So we'll create a function called cycle. It returns a board, and for now it will just return the existing one. Guardlet cycled gem1. This is more or less the same, so let's copy paste all this stuff over. And then we can start asserting that cycle gem1 is equal to original gem2. Gem2 is the same as original gem3, and the last cycle gem is the same as the original gem1. So let's build and run this test. So this one fails because we haven't implemented anything yet. So let's go into our board and start doing that. So our function we will create an updated board as a copy of ourselves and return that one. And in the meantime, we'll shift the gems around a bit. And the last one will be the first one. So let's run the test again. And now the test succeeded. What is... These look like old messages. Let's check. So let's clear test results and run them again, just to make sure. Yes. Sometimes old messages keep hanging. Now if you cycled 3 times, you should have your original stack back. So just to be very sure, I am going to check for that as well. So I'll copy the test. So after cycling 3 times, we're back to start. And so we'll do cycle, and then we expect cycle gem1 to be the original gem1, cycle gem2 original gem2, and cycle gem3 the original gem3. Let's run the test, and this one passes as well. Okay, so now we have the logic for cycling. Let's add it to our game. So we need to go into our content view. Let's get rid of the canvas. And where do we want to place this? Maybe after the other buttons. We'll call scene.cycle. And we'll have a label, an image, arrow circle, path, We'll give it a foreground color. Of the accent color. Some padding. And we take these ones out. And let's see, so we have a foreground, some padding. Then we can do a background. With, for instance, a secondary color. We can clip it. And we can give it a shadow. Okay, and we need to implement a cycle function in the scene. So let's go into a game scene. So our board is board.cycle. Let's run to have a and see what this looks like. So we can now click cycle and they move around. You can still control. But what I do notice is that the game does feel a bit sluggish. So we have our functionality working, but it feels sluggish because let's say I click right a lot of times. Only when the screen updates can we see the result of that. And the reason is we're only redrawing the board on each update of the board. So to make this feel a bit more responsive, what we can do is after each time we enter a command, like left or right or cycle, we can call our drawBoard function. Let's see how that feels. So now we have immediate feedback when moving around and also when cycling. This makes it feel a lot better. Okay, cool. This is what I wanted to do for this time. Next time I want to start working on detecting matches of 3 or more of the same gems. So we can start really playing the game or seeing what happens if you get 3 in a row, horizontal, vertically or diagonally. Thanks for watching and have a good day.